Good morning. It is I believe it's the 29th. Damn, I'm not good at knowing what fucking day it is. I try, but I stumble. Thank you, Macy Gray. So, I got a few more horror movies to do reviews for. I need to wrap it up and get this shit done. It's ridiculous. Don't notify me. I understand, yes. Getting texts. Leave me alone. It's early. Text me this early, people. If you're watching this and you've ever texted me this early, don't do that anymore. I'm chilling with my dog, getting ready to go to work. Now, um, this is the strangest movie that I've reviewed. It's the strangest movie that I've watched for this. I'm not sure if it's the strangest movie I've ever watched, but it's in the running. Definitely. Some people may not count this as a horror movie. It is. It is. It's quite gory, although the gore is strange because the actors are life-size puppets. Now, this is the first movie of its kind to use no CGI, uses real backgrounds, but the characters are life-size puppets that look quite grotesque. That creates an uncanny valley in this movie that is probably more stark than in any movie that I've ever seen. It's creepy. It is creepy. If you don't know what an uncanny valley is, that's when you're watching some form of art and there's something that's supposed to look human, but it doesn't quite look human. It's not quite human. So it creates an uncanny valley in between your perception and what you're looking at. You look at like a normal person, and then when you first look at these puppets with a slightly grotesque face that looks like shiny, almost like they look like burn victims in a way. So it creates this sense of unease immediately, which remains through the film because the puppets remain through the film. Now, I've never seen life-size puppets in a film before. I remember Team America had like little ones, and that was a funny movie. It worked. It was, a social commentary. It was a lot of different things. This movie isn't as depth-filled as that. It is honestly, it kind of spoils it if I tell you what it is. So I don't think I'm going to do that. It's hard to explain this movie without just kind of giving it away, to be frank with you. And I think it's better the more that you leave to the unseen or unheard, the better the value will be for that later on. But the puppetry stuff was done very well. It seems almost real. It's like just on the cusp of real. They got a lot of good voice talent to do this movie. I can't remember everyone that was in it, but I know Jordan Peele had a character in here. Robert Englund was one of the characters. There was some more notable people that you would recognize if I could remember their name right now, which of course I can't. Hi Shadow, yes, you have the best pooky lips that I've ever seen. For sure. And people can see your shadow in this background. That's you, huh? Yep. Oh, Paw. Okay. Yep. Love you. So good. So, the acting talent, or the voice talent, I guess you would call it in this movie, because no one was technically acting. They were all just voicing puppets. The voice talent in this was excellent. It was... all the characters were quite distinct, and you could feel fear, trepidation inside of their voices. It was well done. I wouldn't say like what they had for cinematography was anything special. It was very basic. I Probably because they were using puppets, so you're already like running one thing. You can't have too many moving shots if you don't have actually moving things without human beings manipulating the props. But for what they did with what they had, with the visceral gore, with the I can't say that because it's gonna spoil the movie. I can't say that because it's gonna spoil the movie. This is a weird movie that you can't talk about too much, man. It really is. It's just a strange film, and I found for me personally, the payoff at the end was worth the ride that I wasn't sure if it was worth the whole time that the movie was playing. The whole time the movie was playing, I was like, I hope this comes to some kind of fruition. I really hope it does. Because I enjoyed myself enough. But if it had ended on a sour note or a stupid note or a pointless note, I think I would have definitely been a bit upset about it because I invested my time into this movie, and I don't mind watching a shitty movie, but I don't want to feel like I'm gonna get a payoff that I don't get. I'd rather have a shitty movie than a movie that worked the whole way through it, and then at the end I was like, what? Why? And that's how I felt about this movie. The whole way through, I was like, this is working. This works. It's creepy. It's got a sense of trepidation through the whole thing. The characters do. It feels tense and awkward. It's a very awkward movie. But by the time it wrapped up and I realized what they did with it, I was like, oh, beautiful payoff. And it brought everything like the story meanders in a weird way. The story, the way they decided to tell the story is probably the worst part of it. The story's cool, the voice acting was cool, the camera work was cool with the puppetry, the puppets were cool with the grotesque, weird way that they were. That brought you a sense of unease through the whole thing. All of that worked. But if the payoff had been shitty, it would have sucked. But all of it worked, and the story, it's a linear tale, so they don't do like this jumping off things where you're lost to where you are, like it's Inception or something. It's not like that. But it's like the story jumps in funny ways. It jumps in funny ways that how they moved it forward is so abrupt. I guess they called it Abruptio, so Lucas, think about these people and what they were trying to do. It's an abrupt moment to 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 an abrupt moment. And you're like, whoa. It's very unsettling, which I guess that's the point of what they were going for. They called the thing Abruptio. So they were trying to have it jump in these segments that threw you to a weird feeling the whole time. But good enough that I stayed with it, and then when it paid off at the end, I was like, yes, awesome. So if you like weird movies, I would suggest you watch this. If you like horror movies in a general way, watch this. If you like puppetry, watch this. If you don't like weird movies and you don't like puppetry and you don't like a strange horror movie, you might want to skip this one. But for me, it definitely worked. I give it an 8, which is a strong showing. Like I was saying before, anything below 5 I can recommend to very few people. Maybe no one. Anything 5 or above is a reasonably good movie that I can recommend to some people. An 8, I'm going to say, If you, like I said, if you like horror, if you like puppetry, if you like weird movies, just in general, you don't even have to like horror and puppetry. If you just like weird movies, you'll probably like this, even if you don't like horror, because it's done with puppets. So the horror isn't like the horror part of it the is conceptual far more than it's, you know, it's not like it's not like the physically violent stuff makes you ill. It's the idea of what's happening that is strange enough to make you be like, what? And so I recommend this movie to a fair portion of people. I give it an 8. Abruptio. It's a 2023. I think it's 2023. Yeah, pretty sure of it. Leave comments.